Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to build a dual coil for an RBA or RTA or RDA, whatever it is you're trying to use. I'm going to be using an E-Leaf 50 watt I-stick. Over here I have some atomizer wiki. It's a 24 gauge canthal wire, some organic Japanese cotton. I have all my parts here. I use what's called a zephyrus, and it's made by UD. It's actually a rebuildable tank atomizer, which is kind of cool. So instead of having to drip on your stuff every time, this actually, you fill a tank and it goes right into the coils I'll be building. I have some pliers, some scissors, some juice to get me going, and some flush cut clippers. I also have this little cool tool. It's called Kuro Concepts. I got it on eBay for $5. This will definitely help you out. I'm not good at making coils just on my own, so that thing is amazing. Alright, so I'm going to set my phone up here. Okay, that should work. Now I'm going to start out with the base right here. This is made by UD. It's an RBA. It's got the 4 posts. Kinda cool. Big airflow. I'm gonna just grab some wire right here, and like I said, I use atomizer wiki. It's 24 gauge. Really like it. Now I'm just gonna cut off some pieces. I don't use very much. If you can see, I use about a couple inches. There's one. There's two. Doesn't matter. This stuff goes a long way, and so does the cotton. Alright, so I have my tool right here. I use a 20. They have a 25 and a 30. 30 just makes a bigger coil. Now my RBA is kind of tight when I put this sleeve on there, so I have to make sure that my coils are pretty small and in there so they're not touching the sides. I remove this cap right here. It's got a set screw. YouTube will show you how to use this little thing if you need to move that screw over for bigger wire. I insert my coil into this hole right here. It's pretty easy. Thread it through. I hold it with my thumb right here. I leave a little bit out, and I hold it with my thumb like that. I take it, I wrap it around just one time, and then I put this cap back on, and that set screw will help you wind it. And then I just count rotations. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do a 7 coil. That's what usually gets me to a 0.3 ohm, and that's where I like to be for sub-ohm vaping. Like I said, if you want a video on how to use this tool better, just go on YouTube. It'll show you. But look how quick and easy that was. I have a coil right there. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause this and just make another one. Alright, so now I have both coils. I like to bend them just a little bit right here. That helps me get it in the center of this where I need it to be. I like my coils to be right above the airflow holes, not too much over to the side. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and install these. If I can get this to focus a little bit better. Alright. So I'm going to use the first and the third hole when I put this in there. I don't know why I can't get this to zoom. Alright, there we go. You can see I got it in the first and the third. And see how I'm pretty much right over the airflow holes? Sometimes I keep my tool in the coil just so I can move it around. But I try to get it as close to that post as I can without actually touching it with the whole coil. And then once I got it kind of where I want it, I go ahead and I tighten these screws. But you don't want to tighten them too much because you'll actually snap the wire. So you just kind of want to snug it down like that. And go ahead and tighten this one too. I'm actually going to loosen this one. Put it a little too tight, too close. Okay. And then you can use your tool to adjust it. I like to make sure it's straight as far as over my airflow. So that'll fit in there just perfect. I think that'll work. Then I use these flush cut snippers. I got them at Menards for $2. And they get the post, or they get the wire cut off right at the P. If you have any wires sticking out of here, just a little bit, it'll be touching the other coil that you put on this side, and they're gonna arc. And you don't want it to arc. So I just snip those off, and they're completely clean. So then you just turn it around. You do exactly the same on the other side. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. And there we go. I got both of them in there. Like I said, this one that I use, it's very, very tiny. So those coils have to be perfectly in there. If you're using a RTA, rebuildable drip atomizer, you have a lot more room to make your coils. But this is an RTA, it's a rebuildable tank atomizer, which pretty much just means that you have a tank that's feeding it instead of actually dripping it every single time, which for me is a lot better. So now I'm gonna go ahead and wick it, and wicking is one of the hardest things for me to do. Let's zoom in on it real quick. Alright, so I got my cotton here, and I'm just gonna cut a strip of it and show you, and I'm gonna pause it and do the other side. You might have to play around with this just until you get the hang of it, because you don't want too much wick, because you're not going to be able to slide it into the coil. It's going to be too tight. I pretty much just know where to cut it now, so I make 2 little strips. And doing this is so much cheaper. Like, a coil for my UD is $12. I got this Cantle wire, which is 25 feet, and all this organic cotton for $5 on eBay, and that was shipped to my door. And I've already probably made at least 10 setups. So I'm gonna grab one strip like here. I'm gonna twist it like a joint on this one side, like I'm rolling up a fat doobie. So just like that. Then I'm gonna feed it through like that, grab it, pull it through. But you don't want it to be too tight. You want it to be able to go back and forth pretty easy. See, I can pull it in and out pretty easy, so it's not too tight. If it's too tight to pull it out, make just cut a little bit off. Don't make it as thick. So I got my other piece over here. Okay. So now I got two. Bam. Alright, now I got this sleeve. And this sleeve has to fit over all of it. All those coils have to fit inside this sleeve. And just to give you an idea of how big this is, it's about the size of a dime. I don't even know if it's that big. Here, let me get a dime and we'll do some measurements. Yeah, it's actually smaller than a dime. Way smaller than a dime. So it's kind of hard to get it in there. Okay. Now what I do is I take this cap that I'm going to be screwing on, and I just push it on here like that. And that kind of like, it makes marks in the cotton. So it's going to tell me like where I want to cut the cotton. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. So I made an impression in the cotton right about here, and that's where I'm going to snip it off. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it. Okay, I've snipped it all off. Now, this can be the hardest part. It can be tricky. Because on the side of my tanker here, these are your juice channels. But this is only on mine. If you're using an RTA, it'll be a lot easier. But right here is a channel. Right here is a channel. Right here is a channel. And on mine there's 4 channels. And that cotton has to be down in each channel in order to feed it juice properly without getting a dry hit. Now I take my screwdriver and I like to fluff it up just a little bit like this. And then I flip it over. And this is just fluffing the ends. So help soak it up later. And fluff it out like that. So now I got a big fluffy cotton ball looking thing. And now what I do is I take a little bit of cotton right here and I kind of press it into that juice channel, but just a little bit of it, not all of it. And I hold it in that juice channel while I fluff the rest of the cotton upwards. And that kind of like, it creates a wick. You can see that right there. And I go ahead and I do all of them. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. Okay, I've put it all into my juice channels. Now I'm going to put this cap on. I just kind of take my finger and I push all the cotton up into the cap. Like that. That's how I line it up. And then I thread it on there. You know what? I already forgot an important step that you shouldn't forget. Oh, I can't believe I did that. All because I'm making a video. I forgot to prime the coils, which means right after I put the coils in, you want to hit your power button on your battery and heat up the coils. That'll burn off any extra stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just do it afterwards and not hit it. I'm probably just going to blow out because you don't want to suck up any of that new coil. It's going to be gross. Can't believe I did that. Never done that before. And I can't get it in there. Alright, And after I get that cap screwed on, that's what it looks like. Looks like a coil you'd buy at the store almost. It's like a little bit of cotton sticking out these holes. Right here. It's kind of hard to see. Use a little bit. Right there. Right there. Right there. Okay. So I'm going to get some juice. Shake it up. And I'm going to prime it. Which means I'm just going to put a little juice on directly on the cotton. Juice it up. Okay. So now I gotta build it. UD has this bottom. It's got a firing pin. My coil just screws right into that base. Just like that. I have a rubber washer that it comes with. It also comes with blue and red. I like the clear one. So put that rubber washer on. And then I have my tank. And that's gonna go on just like that. What's cool about this tank is it's top fill, which means you don't have to take it all apart to fill it. Get my second washer here. This will go on the top. So I can get it in there. Just like that. And then I have this top piece. That hole right there, that little hole is the top fill. It's pretty nice. And this will thread into there like that. Just use my shirt to tighten it up. Okay, it's all tightened up and put together, just like that. Different companies will be different, I'm sure. I also have this top piece that goes on after you fill it. I'll show you in a minute. I got this ring, adjust the airflow at the bottom. You can spin it and close. Usually I leave it off. I don't even use it half the time. But I'll go ahead and use it today. And then I have my drip tip, which will go into my cap right here. So go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and juice a little bit. You might not want to fill it all the way. I would just put a little bit until you know that your wicking isn't going to leak. So it'll start leaking out of this drip hole if you didn't wick it good. Then you have to take it apart and redo it. So maybe just put a little bit of juice for now. Yeah. Go ahead and screw my cap on. Let me show you how much juice I used. I just put a little bit in there. And yeah, this should be good. I'm gonna go ahead and screw it onto my 50 watt. And it's let's see, it's reading 3 ohms, 0.3 ohms. And I usually keep it at about 30-35 watts. It's all personal preference. I'm probably gonna leave it at like 30 since it's a 0.3 ohm. It's a 0.2 ohm. Then I usually go up to like 35 watts. You're getting pretty low in ohms. You can go higher in wattage. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it. Check it out. Go ahead and run some tests here. Yeah, it's hitting pretty good. I don't have a dry hit, so I mean I've been doing this for a while now. Kind of perfected it. It's tricky, but have fun.